I made a huge mistake when I came back to the farm 7.5 years ago. And even in the last 2 or 3 years, I've been short-sighted in trying to rectify this mistake. In this video, let's talk about that mistake while we address the business, marketing, and production sides of farming. One of the comments I'm asked a lot is, how do I market my products? And it's one that I've avoided for some time because, frankly, I'm not very good at it. I'm Rod from Dowdle Family Farms, and I'm on a mission to produce some of the healthiest, most nutrient-dense pork and beef that we can on our farm while regenerating our soils and feeding our livestock with cover crops. You see, when I moved back to the farm 7.5 years ago, even though I fell into it and loved it, I didn't really have a plan for the business. Like a lot of people, I grew a market garden and got some chickens and played around, and I finished out some beef and even got a few feeder pigs. But I didn't really have a very clear direction. I wanted to improve the land, and I never thought about how to finance that improvement. And that's where the business part of farming comes in. Even though I'm a 7th generation farmer, each of the generations before me had their own businesses of sorts. My dad raised cattle, his parents had a cotton gin, his parents raised a more diverse group of crops. And even though much of the land has been in the family for generations, the business of what I now call Dowdle Family Farms started with me. Even though the land has changed ownership, and even now I don't own any of the land, each generation had their own market or their own way of selling products. When I started Dowdle Family Farms, I was focused on creating an enterprise through which I could market my products, whether they be lettuces, chicken eggs, meat chickens, or now pork and beef. And it's taken me time to realize that because Dowdle Family Farms is different than the other businesses on the farm, it's time for me to make some changes. You see, most farms sell through a commodity system. If you want to get into beef or sheep or goats, there's a fairly decent market for you to sell live animals into. Same thing is true with dairy and milk. And this is true for row crop farming particularly. Corn, soybeans, cotton, peanuts, wheat, whatever to the local grain elevator or cotton gin. And even though I knew that what I was doing was very different, it didn't really register with me. Direct selling to customers is a challenge. You see, I've got to develop or at least find a market for a different product than what people find in a grocery store. You see, most of our customer base is looking for a product that's fed not just corn or soy, or even non-corn and non-soy, or GMO or organic, or any of those type feeds. In addition to avoiding antibiotics and many other things that go into livestock production, our customer base is wanting meat from livestock that are grazing a diverse variety of diets, not just pigs that are put on pasture and eat a little grass. You see, our customer base is looking for a product that receives a substantive portion of its nutrition from diverse forages. Things like you see behind me here. Like this diverse group of cover crops that we've just planted, with 3 different kinds of clovers, Austrian winter peas, 3 different brassicas, chicory, oats, and cereal rye. Because of that, I am spending an inordinate amount of time and energy, not farming, not planting, but marketing our products. And I'm not a natural-born salesperson. You see, I'm spending an inordinate amount of time on the business itself, developing that market. There are other aspects of building a business, from accounting and invoicing and all those other things, but most farm businesses are going to have to deal with that. Building an online store and developing the market, those are the challenges for a farm like mine. You see, I want to create an opportunity for one of my children, or even some of my nieces and nephews, if they want to come back to the farm, to come back to the farm and build it. They may want to come back to the farm and host farm tours or educational events. Maybe they want to raise a different kind of livestock and sell it. Maybe they want to market or work on equipment or anything else. I want to give other generations of our farm the opportunity to come back and not have to go through the hassle of building a new farm business from the very beginning like we've had to do. Now, I have no expectation for my kids to come back and farm. Maybe they will want to one day and maybe they will not. But I want them to have the opportunity in whatever way they're passionate about and they have the skills and the resources to do it, and build even further on what I'm doing now. They may want to come back and farm part of the land and have their own enterprises that are very separate financially from Dowdle Family Farms. If so, that's fine. But if they want to direct to market their businesses, that's either something that my business can purchase from them, And of course, if I retire and pass away from this world, it may be that none of my kids or my grandkids or my nephews and nieces want to participate in the farm. If so, the farm business could still be sold. There can still be some value there. And here's the catch. If a retail product-based business is going to survive, it's going to have to generate roughly $1 million in revenue to support one full-time salary. If you imagine a $75,000 salary with about $20,000 to $25,000 in benefits, that's comparable to many public employers, and it'll cover a portion of the healthcare costs, Social Security, and retirement. Then you've got to generate roughly $100,000 in revenue. That's about $1 million in total sales if you have a profit margin of about 10%. That's huge compared to my current sales. If I want to work toward that end while I'm farming part-time and develop a business model that's a little bit lower key in terms of the retail sales, I think I can safely retail 100 market weight pigs per year. There's not that much profit in that, but that's where the future of the production of the farm plays into this developing the farm as a business. The pen that I'm in is where we train pigs to the electric fence. Right now, these pigs are breeder pigs, and I'm trying to keep away from our boar. I want them to develop and grow a little bit larger before we start breeding them. That said, I may have missed that opportunity if I saw the reflection in the video right a moment ago. To really see where our farm's moving in the future in terms of production, I need to give you a little bit of an update on where we are in the life cycle of the farm. I've sold about 30 market weight pigs this year, and it looks like I'll sell another 10 to 15. And that's a fairly low number, but over the last 2.5 to 3 years, we really haven't had any pork to sell because of the Mangalitsa debacle that we got into. I've had other videos on that, and that's a whole nother story. I know very few people who are doing what I'm doing with pastured pigs, who are able to grow a significant portion of their pigs' feed diet on pasture. Most pastured pigs consume the vast majority of their feed that puts weight on and grain. By weight, they may eat more pasture, but it's not actually substantive nutrition. But we're reducing our pigs' grain consumption by 25 to 50%, which is fairly significant. It increases the quality of the pork, the nutrient density of the pork, and makes for outstanding meat. But in able to do that, we've got to have excellent pastured pig genetics. Of course, we're working on developing production systems for pasture and cover crops as well, but we've got to have the pig genetics. One, pigs that can forage well on pasture and gain a significant portion of their nutrition with the cover crops they're growing. Also, we've got to have pigs with good mothering instincts. We've also got to have good market meat type pigs that have good intermuscular marbling. That takes a significant amount of time and energy. And many people who sell feeder pigs, they're not actually raising them on pasture, or if they are, they're not actually marketing them out, so you don't get a good idea or a good sense of what those meat quality characteristics are and what you want to breed for. As I develop the breeding program, I'm also going to start selling feeder pigs, and eventually, once we get some good genetic lines, I'll sell breeding stock as well, but that's going to be 2 or 3 years down the road. You see, in that way, I hope to help other pastured pig producers who don't want to get into farrowing but want good genetics. I want to be able to supply groups of 50 to 100 or even 5 or 10 or 12 pigs to people who are looking for them. Also, when selling larger groups of feeder pigs, it doesn't require quite as much marketing as trying to sell a whole pig, especially with retail sales. And then if we have other people who want to come to the farm and work, whether they're family members or even others in the community, we'll have the infrastructure in place to be growing slowly but surely, and also to be able to scale up a little bit more rapidly. Right now, it's going to take building that framework though, and so that's what I'm focused on. Let me take a moment to mention a couple things right now. One newsletter is about growing your farm. Maybe you're interested in producing pigs, maybe you're interested in pastured pig genetics, or learning how to raise livestock like we are. Or maybe one day you want feeder pigs. Let me encourage you to sign up for our Growing Your Farm newsletter. If you're interested in how you can get your hands on some good quality pork, we can ship within a 2-day UPS ground shipping zone of Caledonia, Mississippi. Our new website should be up within the next 3 or 4 weeks, I'm hoping. And at that point, we'll be able to ship more and more products. You can stay updated at dowdlefamilyfarms.com. Or you can sign up for the Dowdle Family Farms newsletter, which is where we keep you updated with happenings on the farm, products for sale, sales promotions, and many other things. The farm is changing, the farm is growing, so hopefully 5 years or 5 decades down the road, Dowdle Family Farms will still continue to grow And maybe, just maybe, we'll have a place for future farmers to come to our farm, use their skills and resources not only to serve our community, but also to help serve others with high quality, nutrient dense pork, beef, and whatever other products we may be raising at the time. Y'all take care and have a great day.